The weight you carried that no one saw. You survived what others couldn't. And whether you realize it or not, that truth carries extraordinary power. There were moments in your life when everything felt heavy, so heavy that even breathing felt like work. But you kept going anyway, and the world around you never truly saw what you were going through. They saw you show up. They saw you smile. They saw you functioning, doing what needed to be done. But they never saw the silent battles happening inside you. They never saw the nights you spent awake, trying to calm your thoughts, trying to convince yourself that tomorrow would be better. They never saw the moments when you held yourself together with nothing but sheer will. You carried burdens that would have crushed a weaker spirit. You walked through situations that had no easy answers, no simple escapes. You faced heartbreak that shook your confidence. You dealt with disappointments that made you question your worth. You navigated loneliness when you desperately needed someone to understand you. And yet, even inside that darkness, you found reasons to keep moving. You found small pieces of hope to hold on to, even when everything inside you felt empty. People around you never truly knew the battles you fought because you always made it look easier than it really was. You learned how to appear strong even when you were collapsing inside. You learned how to say, "I'm fine," even when you weren't. You learned how to keep going because no one else was going to save you. And that is something you should never overlook. That inner strength didn't come from comfort. It didn't come from an easy life. It came from your endurance. It came from your courage. It came from your refusal to quit, even when giving up looked like the easier choice. There were chapters in your life that seemed impossible to escape. Painful moments that you thought would last forever. But somehow, every time you reached your breaking point, something inside you refused to let go. Something inside you chose survival over surrender. And because of that choice, you are here today. You are living proof of what resilience looks like. You are the outcome of every battle you faced, every tear you shed, every moment you kept fighting when others would have stopped. You survived moments that were meant to destroy you, but they didn't. Instead, they shaped you, they molded you. They carved a deeper strength inside you, one that you may not always see, but others definitely feel. You are standing today because your spirit refused to break. You are standing today because you are stronger than the pain that tried to defeat you. Most people will never understand the weight you carried, but you do. And when you finally acknowledge your own strength, you will realize that surviving wasn't just something you did. It's who you are. How struggle shaped your inner strength. Every difficult moment you lived through didn't just test you, it reshaped you from the inside out. Pain has a way of becoming a teacher, one that doesn't use gentle lessons, but lessons carved through experience. And your experiences, no matter how painful they were, created a strength within you that most people will never understand. Strength like yours isn't built in comfort. It's built in moments when you had no choice but to push through. It's built in the nights when you had to talk yourself out of giving up. It's built in the times you had to wipe your own tears because no one else even knew you were crying. Every struggle you faced taught you something. When your heart broke, you learned resilience. When people disappointed you, you learned independence. When life forced you to wait, you learned patience. When you felt fear, you learned courage. When you were left alone, you learned self-reliance. None of these qualities came from an easy life. They came from surviving the storms you never asked for. And because of those storms, you now carry a rare form of emotional strength that can only be earned through hardship. You learned how to read people better because you have seen the difference between genuine actions and empty words. You understand emotions deeply because you've lived through emotional extremes yourself. You know how to stay calm in chaos because you've already survived worse. Your intuition grew sharper, your mindset grew stronger, and your heart grew wiser. You now carry a strength that is quiet but powerful. You don't need to show it off, you don't need to announce it. It's there in the way you handle challenges. It's there in the way you recover from setbacks. It's there in the way you keep moving forward, even when the path is uncertain. Life didn't give you strength, it forced you to create it. Every time you stood back up, even when you were exhausted, you were building resilience. Every time you tried again, even after failing, you were building determination. Every time you trusted again, even after being betrayed, you were building emotional bravery. These qualities make you different from the average person. They make you someone who doesn't get shaken easily. They make you someone who knows how to survive even when everything feels like it's falling apart. People who haven't lived your life won't understand your strength. They may see you as calm, but they don't know how much you endured to earn that calm. They may see you as quiet, but they don't know how much noise you had to silence inside yourself. They may see you as strong, but they don't know the battles you fought to become this strong. Your strength isn't loud, it's steady, it's not aggressive, it's grounded, it's not temporary, it's permanent. Because it was built in moments when you had nothing but yourself to rely on. And because you survived those moments, you now walk through life with a power that cannot be shaken. The struggles you faced didn't just change you, they transformed you into someone wiser, tougher, and more unbreakable than ever before. Why you are no longer the same person. After everything you've been through, you are no longer the same person. And that is not something to fear. It is something to honor. Life changed you in ways that only pain, awareness, and growth can. You didn't wake up one day different. You evolved slowly, silently, piece by piece. Every experience, every heartbreak, every disappointment chipped away at who you used to be and revealed who you were meant to become. You learned how to protect your peace because you finally understood that not everyone deserves access to your energy. Before, you might have tolerated disrespect just to keep people close. Now, you walk away without hesitation. Not because you don't care, but because you've learned the hard way that your mental and emotional well-being matters more than keeping connections that drain you. You've learned to recognize red flags early. You've learned that silence is sometimes more powerful than responding. You've learned that not everyone deserves an explanation or another chance. These changes didn't come easily. They were built from experience. You also became more selective with your heart. You no longer give trust to just anyone because you've seen what happens when you give too much to the wrong people. You've become wiser, not colder. You've become more grounded, not bitter. You still love deeply, but now with boundaries. You still care, but now with awareness. You still give, but now with discernment. This version of you understands the value of your own time, your own energy, and your own presence. You are no longer afraid of being alone because you've learned to find comfort in your own company. There were times when you felt forced into solitude, when people walked away or life pushed you into isolation. Those moments showed you that loneliness doesn't break you. It reveals you. It helped you discover your own strength, your own voice, your own identity. You are comfortable standing alone now. Not because you prefer isolation, but because you no longer depend on others to feel whole. You don't chase validation anymore. Before, you might have cared deeply about what people thought, whether they approved, whether they accepted you, whether they understood your intentions. But now, you've lived enough life to know that most people don't even understand themselves, let alone you. You stop trying to explain yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. You realize that your worth doesn't decrease just because someone fails to see it. You carry yourself differently now. There's a calmness in you that wasn't there before. A strength that doesn't need to be shown to be felt. A confidence that comes from knowing what you survived. The person you were before didn't have the experiences you have now. They didn't have the wisdom, the boundaries, or the clarity you've earned through hardship. And even though the journey was painful, it shaped you into someone who can face life without breaking so easily. You are not who you were, and thank God for that. You've outgrown your past, your old fears, your old patterns. You evolved because life forced you to rise, and you did. You became someone stronger, smarter, and more in control. Your transformation is proof that nothing you went through was wasted. Your survival is proof of your destiny. You survived what others couldn't because your story isn't meant to end in the places where you struggled. The fact that you're still here, still breathing, still trying, is not an accident. There is a purpose behind your survival. There is a destiny attached to your endurance. You weren't meant to break in those dark moments. You were meant to be built. You weren't meant to stay in those painful chapters. You were meant to rise from them. Sometimes the hardest seasons of your life were not punishments, but preparation. Life was preparing you for a future that requires the strength you earned through pain. It was preparing you to carry wisdom that can only come from real struggle. It was preparing you to walk into rooms, relationships, and responsibilities that require emotional maturity, resilience, and clarity. Not everyone is trusted with that kind of journey. But you were, because you have a purpose greater than the situations you survived. Your survival is proof that you are chosen for something bigger. When life knocked you down, it was not to defeat you, but to teach you how to rise. Every scar you carry is a symbol of strength. Every tear you shed watered the ground for your growth. Every challenge forced you to build a version of yourself that could stand strong even in the face of uncertainty. You didn't just survive, you evolved. You didn't just endure, you transformed. And now you're stepping into a phase of your life where everything you went through will make sense. The patience you were forced to develop will guide you. The boundaries you learned to set will protect you. The strength you built in the darkness will push you forward. You survive because your future needs you. You survive because your purpose is calling you. You survive because your story has chapters of victory, healing, and expansion that you haven't even reached yet. There were days when you felt forgotten, unseen, unappreciated. But the truth is that the universe, God, destiny, whatever you believe in, was aligning everything for your transformation. You weren't forgotten. You were being refined. You weren't abandoned. You were being redirected. Your survival is not just proof of your strength, it's proof of divine timing. Proof that your path is protected. Proof that your life has meaning, even when you can't see the full picture yet. You are walking into a season where your breakthroughs will match the intensity of your battles, where you will receive the peace you spent years searching for, where you will experience the growth you once thought was impossible. Nothing you survived was in vain. Every painful moment was shaping you into the person you needed to become. Now it's time to stop doubting yourself. Stop questioning your worth. Stop telling yourself that your pain made you weak. It didn't. It made you powerful. It made you wise. It made you unstoppable. You survived what others couldn't, and now you are stepping into a destiny that only someone with your strength could fulfill. Your past prepared you, your survival proved you, and your future will reward you. The best chapters of your life are still ahead, and this time you will walk into them with strength, clarity, and the confidence of someone who knows exactly what they have overcome.